An African sister moved back to Africa after 20 years in Europe. Well, she said she has had a fair share of life in Europe and decided it's time to come to Africa to make a name for herself, to build her identity across the diaspora. Let's watch the video.
You don't have to choose between where you're going, where you're from. Your diasporic identity is your bridge, not your barrier. This is the reason why I chose to return back home 4 years ago as a diaspora. So my name is Vima Morris. I am from Tanzania originally. I grew up in the UK, and 4 years ago, I packed my bags, got a job in Tanzania, and went back. And the reason why I decided to go back, three reasons. The first one is really because I really just identified that the lifestyle I had in the UK was great. I really did do my best. I got a master's, I got a job in the government. I did a really good job building my career. However, I noticed a trend in the UK where there's a little bit of a survival mode where the wages are a bit lower, and I wasn't really able to do everything I wanted to in my life if I was to remain that path. And I've always wanted to go back home. So I chose to work in the career in international development sector, which I knew would provide me a travel lifestyle where I travel would work. And then I knew eventually I could then leverage the career experience to go back home. In 2021, I looked for a job in Tanzania, got it, impact, and went. The second reason was really because my dad is Pan-African, and he's always kind of been very enthusiastic and passionate about African achievements and African history, particularly Tanzania. So I just grew up really passionate about Tanzanian culture. I still speak Swahili even though I grew up in the UK. And yeah, so then it just made sense I had to go back and experience my life both being Tanzanian, but obviously I've grown up outside. And
Family, she's originally from Tanzania, but she had her life in the UK. And one of the reasons she said she came back to Africa was because of the low wages in UK. When you work, you do what you're supposed to, but the wages were not enough to cater for her needs or take care of the basic needs she felt she needed. And she felt she hadn't really achieved so much. She hadn't really done much. She hadn't seeked her list yet. She wanted to do more for herself. That her family, her father is an advocate for African identity. And she wanted to come back to do something for herself in Africa. Let's watch the video.
the third reason really was that eventually when I moved back to Tanzania, I then identified that actually I wanted to build a dual lifestyle, a multi-continental lifestyle, which meant that I build my career, my homes across the two homes. My family's split between two, so I couldn't really kind of pick one place. I felt half either way. This is one of the first steps to the path of multi-continental lifestyle building, which I could diversify my wealth and spread it across my two countries. I could work and live and try to find a remote way of leveraging both my identities. So if you're interested in hearing more about this lifestyle and pathway, please do follow me and join the community, and also download the guide Building a Multi-Continental Lifestyle, of which I will run a free webinar very, very soon. The free guide will give you that information. See you soon.
So, family, she already spent 4 years in Africa, but she spent 20 years in the UK before coming back to Africa, before finally moving to Africa. And she is originally from Tanzania. So, what do you have to say about this story, family? I know so many people leave their homelands thinking of what you're going to meet out there, but sometimes it doesn't really end well, or sometimes you just explore, see life for yourself, and decide to come back home. And for this sister, she has seen life in the UK. She sat down to weigh the life in the UK and Tanzania, and she decided it was wise for her to come back to Africa because in Africa, she would achieve so much more. Family, living in Africa is actually cheaper. But the thing is, our leaders are not making it easy due to the struggles here and there, the security issues, economic problems. We often think that the US is a better place to stay. But if our African leaders do right, do well for the people, harness the resources in Africa, do well for the people, the white folks will be begging to come to Africa. But because our leaders do not actually care about the people, they give us 1% and take the 90%, and the remaining 8%, they just leave it to lie there. I mean, they embezzle more than they can handle. If you were working and still eating the money, no one would say anything because at least you are working and we can see your works. But no, they take everything that belongs to the people. and leave the people in penury, in poverty. And this sister has stayed in the UK for 20 years and she's decided to come back home. Is it a wise choice for her? Well, that is what she decided to do because she said she needed to feed herself, achieve purpose, and do so many things she wants to. Well, it's a good one for her. And if she feels she's going to achieve so much more in Africa, by all means, come to Africa. While so many people are still thinking of coming to Africa, so many people are taking a step. So many people are now in Africa, and so many people would come to Africa. So, what do you have to say about this story, family? Comment your thoughts and do not forget to share, like, subscribe, and turn on your notification button.